to start, I was hoping you could explain to me, like I am a child, what is a tariff?
Tariffs, like, I feel like this is what trips people up, is it's just a tax, right? Like, it's a tax on imports. And like a lot of taxes, it basically serves two purposes. So one is to raise money for the government, or to incentivize like different consumption habits, right? Like think a tax on cigarettes to try and get people not to buy them. So in this case, if Canadian goods are more expensive, the idea is that it would incentivize the US to like buy local, build up its own industry. I think the biggest misconception I always hear about tariffs is who pays for them. So they're paid by importers, right? So how they work, if the tariffs are going into effect at all the different like ports of entry into the US, border officials would be collecting money from American importers. So I don't know, say you're trying to bring in, I don't know, like steel or lumber into the US for construction, the company that's bringing that in is going to pay the excess cost, and that's going to then get passed along to the home builder or the person buying the home.
Mhm. And why is that an important distinction? Because ultimately, like consumers do end up paying it. It's just they're not the ones that the tariff is getting slapped directly on.
Yeah, I think because a lot of the rhetoric around tariffs, at least what I've heard from Trump, is talking about how this will make like the make Canada or Mexico or China pay for it, right? But a tariff actually costs Americans in this case because they're making more. It will of course hurt, like say Canadian businesses if Americans decide not to buy from them for those higher costs, but in the meantime, while they try and sort out their supply chains, maybe find a different supplier, like it will hurt Americans the most.
Right. So it's not on a country, it's on imports from a country, meaning the people who have to pay it are the people in America who are importing the products to America.
Yeah, and we actually even saw that kind of start this weekend. I saw a post on Blue Sky from a econ professor in New Hampshire. He gets his natural gas, like a lot of people in the US East Coast, from Canada. So Irving, the Canadian company, is who supplies the heat for his home. And he got an email from his provider saying, hey, in advance of these tariffs, we're going to hike your heating bills on your home already. So he's in New Hampshire. Canadian companies are already hiking prices in anticipation of this.